Everything starts with a cute little kitten there, dude. The year is 2017 in the Gyeonggi region. The big guy is walking on the little roof, everyone's heading to school, and there's a dude with blue hair in the middle of all that. So when he comments that that kid is weird, the friend in the alley of the vagabonds wants to know why. Bullhead says that's the new student who transferred recently, but he doesn't talk much. The friend asks, "What do you mean he doesn't talk?" He says it's kind of hard to explain, but it's something that goes beyond that. It's like the boy himself was silent, like deeply silent. The black-haired one still doesn't understand what he's talking about. Well, at that moment, a car passes. The protagonist looks to the side and seems to step in front of it. The driver has to slam the brakes and nearly runs him over, already cursing the bastard, wanting to know why he threw himself in front of the car out of nowhere. Our boy finally is just there, stoic, not saying a word. The black-haired guy wants to know why he threw himself in front of the car like that, and the bullhead says to take a look at his foot, man. The kitten was going to get run over and he stepped in front of it. The dude gets out of the car to go off on the kid. It's in his face and starts yelling, grabs him by the collar, saying that this damn student was a bastard, must have been trying to get into an accident on purpose to get compensation money later. The black-haired guy is there watching, saying that even so, the weird kid still doesn't say a word. His friend says he already told him, man, that kid has some kind of weird illness that kills him if he opens his mouth. Ever since he got here, he's been like that. At that moment, a girl from his school comes running and calls for the uncle, asking what happened. The girl gets closer, calls out to Ji-Jin and asks if he's okay and what happened. The old guy says that this weird kid threw himself in front of the car. That was a very obvious strategy to get money out of others. The girl looks at our boy and says she thinks he must have had some reason. Then she starts bowing, saying she apologizes on his behalf and asks to let him go just this once. She shines while begging and the guy says fine, but there wouldn't be a second time. The black-haired guy in the alley asks why Yaina, the queen of class 5, wants to protect this kid. The other one holding the cat says, maybe it's because they're from the same class. This kid had barely arrived and was already tiring everyone out. He asks the kitten if it agrees, but the kitten turns and grabs him, dude. Right then it jumps down to run away and already the second one is there staring down the two of them. The fool is lying in the alley all bloody and gives a little wave to Ariam. She, however, just gives him a little stare and turns away, man. The friend asks why she seems to have such a cold aura. The fool responds that that only made her even more attractive. Just like they had the goddess Yaina in class 5, they had Ariam in their class. The friend turns and says that wasn't attractive at all, he was just being ignored like a loser. The friend tells him not to worry too much, she was just a little shy. Maybe you could say she was an introverted but kind person. The only downside is that she really didn't talk much. The friend comments that apparently she was just like that weirdo who threw himself in front of the car. But Bullhead says not to compare her to that weirdo. The friend says okay, tells him to go clean up that blood while our boy is calmly heading to school. In the class it's a mess, people sleeping here and there while he's standing still in the middle, static, stoic, not moving his single hair. Everyone's talking, telling jokes, and he's just there, man in complete silence. Suddenly, he opens his eyes and there are some girls filming him saying that once again, he's meditating in the middle of the class. The two are there staring at him up close saying that he's been there a month now. And since the first day he arrived, he does that meditation every day. It was impressive. To celebrate a month since he arrived, she even took a little picture and wants to know what he thinks. If he didn't like it, he just had to click the delete button. She says he doesn't need to hesitate just because she helped him before. And then she says that since he won't delete it, that means she has permission to keep his photo and thanks him. Right at that moment, dude, someone opens the door. By the way, he gives off an intimidating aura. Man, you already know that one either came to get beaten up or to throw punches. He's not gonna stay quiet. The name of the bastard is Sisu Tatsu and he already comes with bullying in his name. Everyone looks back, dude. The jerk with the facial filler is just standing there facing everyone. He sees from afar all the girls asking for Jigen's photo, man, telling him to send it on WhatsApp. Then he notices it was our boy and says the vibe there looked pretty nice. He asked our guy why there are always Sony girls around him like that. To be honest, He says that he himself kind of looked like a girl. He grabs the guy's arm and says he should be a man, but that little arm was really feminine. What the? Is he touching his face, man? What is this? I thought the guy came looking for a fight, but I didn't think the fight he wanted was between four walls. He even says he might fall in love because he's so soft. Okay, Jigen is just standing there quietly, right? Just confused by this crazy guy, Yena tells the damn Tatsu to cut it out because nobody's laughing, but he messes with our boy's hair, saying he does it because he's too cute. Then he turns to Yena and says he invited her to go to karaoke yesterday, so why didn't she show up? She gives him a hard stare and says she went to bed early because she was tired and he should understand that since she sent a message. He says, though, that they had already made plans and that even if she was tired, she should have shown up. When her boyfriend calls, she has to go because he was tired of waiting. Dang man, he already has Yena and now he wants our protagonist. Greedy, aren't you? He turns around saying that it's good she doesn't skip today and she says she'll see. Right then, another nerdy guy who probably doesn't get beat up enough pulls out a chair for him, dude. The freeloader flops down and spits. Then class starts with the teacher talking about some Mediterranean civilization stuff. Sometime later, the boys seem to be playing a pretty honest foot volleyball game, and meanwhile, our boy is just sitting on the bench when someone approaches. Here comes Yena provoking again out of nowhere, saying it's way too hot. She sits real close, asking if he's not feeling hot too. She blows some breeze on his face, asking if he likes it and if he finds that refreshing. But he's just there, as always stoic. She laughs, saying it's ironic how he never says anything. Meanwhile, Tatsu is in the middle of the court, just glancing back, seeing his girlfriend acting like that toward another guy that wouldn't make anyone happy in this world. The problem is he got distracted. The guy on the other side gives a big kick to the ball and it lands right on his cheeks. Man, but the guy just tanked it and the ball went flying. Ronald Yu apologizes, dude, saying he was just trying to make a pass. Tatsu turns around saying now his face got wrecked, but he claps and says it's all good. That only happened because he wasn't paying attention and it's best to just keep the game going. At least the guy handled it maturely, though at the same time he's just staring at Jigen in the background. A while after recess, our boy is on the rooftop, like always alone and quiet, when suddenly the door opens. Man. Dude, they cut to our dear Ronald Inho, who's apologizing, saying it was an accident. But Tatsu says he knows he'll only regret it after tasting a little blood. The poor guy's legs are all shaky and he's already on the floor, man. Right then, Jigen gets up and one of the guys glances back and gets startled. He asks what the hell that freak is doing there out of nowhere, and then Tatsu says it looks like he's going to eat alone once again. He really was a weird kid. He goes to give the fool a haircut, saying he's about to make a masterpiece. He better pay close attention. The buzzer does its job and everyone's laughing, saying this is a perfect work of art. He shows it to our boy and asks what he thinks of the masterpiece. The poor kid is just left with two little tufts of hair. Everyone is cracking up while the guy wants to know what Jigen thinks. Obviously, he says nothing and Tatsu wants to know why he's not laughing. Then he gets closer and says that for a masterpiece to be perfect, the model's look was necessary, and looking at the boy, he was sure he'd be perfect for that. Maybe it was time for him to create a masterpiece right there too. The buzzer gets closer and he asks if he doesn't want it. If he doesn't want it, he just has to say no. But if he doesn't say anything, that means yes. Obviously, our boy doesn't respond and he says it's decided then. He comes in with the buzzer, saying that now he's going to look more beautiful than ever. But suddenly, Tatsu's expression changes. He says it's best he be careful. Soon enough, he was going to cross a line and things would start to get weird. Then he raises the buzzer and says he won't cut it after all. He knows that if he shaves the kid's head, the girls are going to be on his case. So he turns around and tells everyone to leave. Meanwhile, the poor guy is left there with just two little hair tufts. He picks up his phone to take a look and sees the disaster that's left, takes a little photo saying he'll leave some evidence. But he's mad that those bastards could have at least finished the job instead of leaving those tufts. Suddenly, he looks back, stands up, and asks why Jigen isn't laughing. To be honest, he also thinks it's funny, so he can just crack up. But Jigen is just there stoic. The guy says he really is different from the others. If it were him sitting on that bench and he saw someone with a haircut, he'd die laughing. He steps away, saying he's thankful that our boy isn't laughing at his face. At the school exit, it's raining and everyone is at the entrance, waiting for the rain to pass, wondering if they'll get home soaking wet. Some at the front run out while Orium has her little umbrella. She glances to the side and sees Jigen calmly walking in the rain like it's sunny out. Suddenly, someone calls him. It's the little bullhead showing up, saying Tatsu wants to have a chat and it's best if he comes along. Right after that, the four of them are there waiting for him. Tatsu already says he was looking forward to seeing the great popular guy in class. He really was still looking beautiful after being soaked in the rain. This guy, man, I don't know if he wants to fight or if he wants to, never mind. Right then, Yuna turns and asks why he called Jigen there. Tatsu, however, tells her to calm down. He just wants to check something. Then he throws her phone to the ground and asks if he saw that. He wants to know why our boy's face is his girlfriend's wallpaper. Guess what Jigen did? Nothing, dude, just stood there in silence staring at Tatsu, who says he doesn't know if he's being petty, but he wants to understand this situation. To be honest, this Tatsu, aside from the haircut, is the most chill bully so far, man. He took a soccer ball to the face, didn't do much, just complimented our boy's looks, and really the one causing all of this is Yuna, who keeps flirting with our guy even though she has a boyfriend. And she even tells Tatsu that she's only using him as wallpaper because he has a cool vibe. The guy, obviously confused, asks if it's really just that. Yuna gets close to our boy, grabs him by the arm, and tells him to just go. This had nothing to do with him. She'd see him at school tomorrow, so it was best for him to leave. Then Tatsu asks why the bastard girl is taking the side of that damn bastard. She was even flirting in front of him. She turns, saying he's the loser. He needs to stop crossing the line. Holy hell, take back what I said. Tatsu slapped her heart in the face, my god. The girl spun like 380 degrees and even got blood on Jigen's face. Man, at that moment, he felt something strange inside. And Tatsu asks why the damn girl is siding with that kid in front of her own boyfriend. Then he gets in our boy's face and says that it looks like he already knows all the girls like him. He wants to know if, by any chance, he's interested in Yuna. She was pretty cute after all, even if she had a bad temper. If Jujum were honest and said what he wanted, he'd even hand her over to the kid. He's sure he must be really into her, so just say it. Yuna, still on the ground, laughs at that whole thing about them being boyfriend and girlfriend. She wasn't with someone who throws parties and buys drinks for other girls and still makes bets on social media. He turns angry, saying he already apologized for that damn mess. It was his friends who invited and set up that situation. He wasn't to blame for any of it. Yuna says whatever, he wasn't worthy of being her boyfriend anymore, so it's over. Man, but then he hit her with Ronaldinho's kick right in the stomach. Even Jigen felt the pressure from the impact. Dude, the poor girl is trembling all over. All twisted, Yuna says that it really is the end for the two of them, that she must have been crazy in the head to ever date him. But he just grabs her by the collar and asks who gave her permission to break up with him. Okay, that's how it is, fine then. But she just says she doesn't care. He wants to hank her again, he can go ahead. He says fine then, they'd settle this now. But when he goes to punch her, man, his arm gets blocked. Jigen had thrown his shoulder over it and Tatsu wants to know what he thinks he's doing. Looks like Jigen really was interested in her. He goes into punch, saying he already warned him not to cross the line. And man, the punch lands square on his cheek. I thought he'd dodge, I thought he'd pull something epic. But Tatsu says he doesn't stand a chance. In our boy's mind, he remembers a blonde girl telling him to come to his senses. He snacks out of it, plants his feet, and manages to stay standing. Tatsu, though, goes in for another, wanting to know how the hell the bastard tanked that. Since that's how it is, he wouldn't hold back anymore. And man, hits him square in the solar plexus, the kind of shot that knocks anyone out, and I think it hurt. Or maybe not, because Jigen is just staring back cold. Tatsu goes in to throw another one, telling the bastard to die. But this time, Jigen dodges and lands a clean one on the jaw and not a hard spot to hit. Man, that one spun him like 3 times and he went face first into the asphalt. The friends are off to the side calling out to Tatsu, while Yuna looks shocked, asking what Jigen is doing. Well, defending himself, Right, girl? The fool's getting up, already spitting out a tooth, and then takes a snap kick to the chin. The friends try to step in, saying he must be asking to get beaten up. But man, if the main side character with a name has no chance, these poor guys are just taking dodges and jaw servings. One of them grabs a metal rod to hit him in the head, but takes a spin kick right in the chest. One more to the ground. Bullhead is just standing there. Dude hasn't done anything up to now, while Taksu just wants to know what the hell Jigen even is. He's just there, dude standing in the rain, staring like a demon, and takes another straight to the face. The fool groans, but gets another one-man, punches flying until Yuna comes to stop him, saying if he keeps going, the guy's gonna die. He hesitates for a second there. Lightning strikes and he gets up all in swag mode. Dude, full-on psycho face. Yuna calls out to him again, but man, he just throws on his backpack and walks off. Bullhead and the girl are left asking themselves what he even is. The story says some people could feel it. Behind Jigen's silence was a deep darkness. Then we see a bit earlier back when Bullhead called our boy. Ariam had heard all of it and saw him being taken to the alley. She thought it was suspicious, man, and decided to follow, curious little sneak. She peeked around, and when she got there, all she could hear was our boy serving chin shots to everyone. From a distance, she could hear the bones cracking, dude, until something got close. Someone put a hand on the wall. It was our guy, all bloody. He glanced to the side and saw her hiding there. She gave a little look from under the umbrella. Trembling, she offers her little umbrella to him. But he gives her that classic stare, turns around and walks off, man. Left her in the rain like a chump. Next day, full-on sunny day. The kids in class are wondering where the pretty boy and Taksu are. Why did both of them skip? The girls were already complaining, saying the place feels too empty without Jigen there. Meanwhile, Yuna, yeah, she knows it was her fault things ended up this way. Then the scene shifts to under a bridge. A guy says he doesn't even know what to think. Ever since he left, he's been drinking and partying like crazy. But now they're saying he ended up in the hospital. How does that make any sense? He tells the kid to just say it. What's his condition? Bullhead says his face is full of fractures and looks like he's gonna be in a hospital for a while. He even asked for no one to visit him because it's too embarrassing. The guy asks how many got beaten, and he says 4 people. That guy with the piercings, that's Kame Doyle. He says he's sure there's no way Taksu would lose physically. So who the hell is this person? Bullhead explains that it's a mysterious kid named Jigen, a student who transferred in but doesn't talk much or don't know much about him either. The angry guy asks if he's seriously saying they got beat up by some stranger. That's embarrassing. Right away, the big fat dude grabs him by the neck and asks why his face is intact if everyone else got beaten. The poor guy, trembling, says it's because he thought 5 against 1 would be too unfair. He thought the 4 of them would win. The guy slams him into the wall and says he's making stuff up. Then Kong wants to know what school this kid came from. Bullhead says nobody knows. To this day, he's never even heard of the guy's voice. He's like a mute. Takes another slap on the head, being called useless. The big guy then orders him to describe what he looks like. You better give details that make him easy to identify visually. Here we go, you already know, right? The guy's blushing says he doesn't want to admit it, but, well, he's like a handsome guy, like a model. He was handsome enough that all the girls kept talking about him. On top of that, he gave off the vibe of coming from a rich family. Not to mention, he had charisma and beautiful eyes. The guy slaps his back, asking what the deal is between the two of them and if he fell in love. Meanwhile, Kong is interested in a guy who just arrived, is extremely silent, and be-up Taksu. Charismatic, good-looking, and also a good fighter. That's a rare combo. Yup, already trembling, saying what even is that guide him. Man, in this story, everyone's peculiar. Next day, there's our boy once again, silently arriving at school. He heads to his locker and Bullhead is keeping an eye on him, remembering that Kong ordered him to find out everything he could about this kid. Guy's being stared at, and obviously he said, "Man, this is too much." But now he's questioning why he accepted something like this. Right when Jijuan opens his locker, he sees a phone inside. A memory pops up, man, he looks at it, picks it up, and sees there's a message saying congratulations. Someone saying he received a free phone. It was old, but at least he could install WhatsApp, Facebook, and chat. The person says they'd listen to any problem he wanted to share, and asks him to send a message soon. He looks around and Bullhead hides, wondering if he's been discovered. But Jijuan looks the other way, and guess who's standing there with a little phone in hand, right? Just by the hair, you know. Yeah, she's clearly in love. He looks at the screen while she's standing there red like a tomato, waiting for the boy to message her. Bullhead's wondering what he's going to do, and then Jijuan just puts the phone on top of a locker and walks away, man. The guy rushes over, grabs it to check, and sees it's an old model. Clearly wasn't him. He's kind of confused, wondering why Jijuan discarded it, and why it wasn't locked. But suddenly, someone's shoulder checks him, man, and he hits his face on the locker. The girl grabs the phone and vanishes. The poor guy is all twisted, trying to figure out who that crazy girl was. Meanwhile, one of Yaina's friends is saying that her aunt has a poodle that had a baby, and it's too cute, and she wants to adopt it. But clearly, Yaina isn't listening to a thing. The friend tells her to stop zooming out and focus. Embarrassed, she says she is focused, but the other one already calls her out, says she's lying. Bet she's thinking about Jijuan, who's absent again. Blushing, she says no, she doesn't think about him like that all the time. But right then, her friend's face suddenly turns red too, calling out the name Jijuan. There he is, the badass, standing right in front of the man. One look from him and Yaina is already frozen there, not knowing what to say. She hands everything to her friend, tells her to wait there, and runs toward him. Out of nowhere, jumps in and gives him a hug, dude. Everyone around is kind of confused, while Yaina's already crying, saying she was really worried about him and asking if he's okay. He had saved her, and that was something she would never forget. She would be grateful to him forever. Bullhead is off to the side, watching and seeing that it's confirmed the girls are in love with him. He decides then to make another note. The information he's gathered, he arrives late to school, most of the girls like him, and he still doesn't speak. That's it. With that, another school day ends, and there's our stoic guy walking home. On the way though, there's a guy on a motorcycle smoking a cigarette, just staring. Right away, he's sure. From the looks, it could only be the kind of bastard who likes to show off. He whistles, calls out to the one with glasses, who gets on the bike, man, and the two head toward our boy. One on each side corners him and asks if he's that guy Jijuan. Our boy gives that signature stare, right? As if he were gonna answer, right? And then the one with glasses says exactly that. Since he's not answering, it must be Jijuan. The boss wanted to have a little chat, so it'd be best if he got on the bike. The